this computer. So, good morning. I'm delighted to see human beings after a night of really quite a good sleep. I started taking magnesium, and yesterday I taught 2 classes, took a yoga class. Then I decided I'm going to take up pickleball. So I took a 2-hour workshop in pickleball. So I'm a little bit stiff today and a bit creaky. So I think we'll just do a very measured yin yoga practice that will allow us to just ease into all of our poses, all of our shapes. And I'm just going to sit in an easy pose, and we'll just, I'm just going to work with my neck. First of all, I'm just dropping my chin to my chest, and I'm going to look at the space between my eyebrows. So I'm crossing my eyes, and now I'm going to lift my head up, and I'm going to look at my nose, and I'm going to look at my third eye between my eyebrows, and then I'm looking at my nose, and then back and forth. Good. And now I'm going to look over my right shoulder, and then my left, and then my right, and then my left. And I'm going to drop my ear to my right shoulder, and I'm just going to slide my arm out and lift the other arm up in a side bend here. And then I'm coming back here. Same thing. So we'll do drop the shoulder, the ear to the shoulder, and then slide out and come over and come back. Drop the ear to the shoulder, slide out and come over. Good. All right. Now I'm going to stretch my arms out and up, and then press my wrists out, the palms of my hands out. I'm pressing the back side of my hands out, and now I'm pressing there. Good. And I'm going to press my hands together. And let's do the lotus in the mud. So let's, the story is Buddha went to the pond with his disciples and said that he had a story to tell about the lotus, and no one could guess what the lesson of the lotus was, except for one of his disciples. And the lesson is you cannot have the lotus without the mud. So I've made this into a little finger mobility exercise. So here's the lotus roots in the mud, and then the bud that's forming. Press, a very strong young bud, and then here's the beautiful lotus flower. So let's do that again. Moving the hands in the mud, and then the pressing into the bud, and then opening out into the beautiful lotus blossom, really with strong fingers here, strong, good. And then shake your hands out. And let's change the crossing of our leg here. And good, all right. Now let's just do a twist, a very small twist, hand on the thigh, and other hand pressing into the ground. So you're lifting up as well as twisting from the waist. And then we'll come back. We're pressing the hand into the thigh, and then the other hand behind you, lifting yourself up as you turn from the waist. Good. And we'll come back now. All right, so let's just come down onto our belly, and we'll go into Sphinx pose, and we'll just stay here for, I'll time us so that I'm not tormenting anyone. And There we go. And I'll move my cup out a little. Good. And we'll just press our forearms into the ground. Our elbows are below our shoulders. And we're drawing, let's imagine we're drawing our hands towards us along with our arms and that are not really moving on the floor at all. But that allows us to feel our chest and our torso moving through the gateway of our arms here. Now, I have a bad neck, so I'm not really drawing my head back. So you do you and work your own magic in your body. Good, and I'm just breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Now, if this feels comfortable for you, I'm going to move back a little bit on my mat. I'm going to draw my hands forward into seal and press into the floor. And this deepens the back bend. Now, it may be that it makes you feel very uncomfortable, in which case just come back down to the Sphinx. But you're welcome to come up into the seal pose here. With your straight arms, you can modify however you like. I'm going to stay in Sphinx because I'm a bit worn out today. I really did a lot of movement yesterday, so I'm staying here, but you could go into your seal pose. Good. Now let's just put our hands down and come back into our child's pose. And just come back into our child's pose carefully. And we can stretch our arms out above our head here. And this will allow you to open your shoulders a bit here, but also it affords you an opportunity to really breathe through your entire chest and your side body and your back body, which are all sort of open to the elements here. So we're inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Let's walk our hands over to the right, and we'll stretch our hand, or especially our left hand forward. Ruby, go back to your bed, darling. Go on, it's not time for playing. Okay, here we go. So we're stretching our left arm forward and our left hip back. Really feeling the opening in the side of your shoulder. Stretching on the side here. And then we'll walk over to the other side and we'll stretch the other arm out. Very good. And then we'll come back, stretch our arms out in front again. And then we'll come back onto our stomach, and we're going to do a movement I learned from my weight training teacher, Catherine DeBoda, but it's a lovely one that I just love. So all you do is it's lovely for your shoulder, and it's just a very nice movement. So we're going to stretch our arms out And we're going to lift I'm going to lift my right leg up. Then I'm going to bring my left arm underneath me so that I have my two hands together. And now I'm going to open out my right arm and so you have a very nice twist here. So your arm is moving towards the floor and your knee is on the ground or lifted up. It's difficult. I can't really do the full opening here, but I'm working on it. I really love this movement. Then you come back and you lower that leg and you stretch your arms out again. And this time you'll lift the other knee up and draw that arm underneath you so you can clap your hands and then open up at the top here into a very nice twist. And you're breathing here. And then we'll close it down again. Clap your hands, lower that knee, open out your arms. And this time we'll lift again the right leg up and then the left arm comes underneath. Clap your hands, open up that top arm and feel that lovely twist. Oh, it's very nice in the morning. It's kind of a full body massage here. And then we'll come back and close it down and then open it up. We'll do it once more on each side. So we'll lift up the knee, clap your hands, open the top arm, and really feel that lovely twist. Good. And breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, and then close it down, exhaling, lower that leg, and then come to the other side, lifting that knee up and opening out one last time. Oh, it's very nice. You could put your hand gently on your knee if you feel like it. Basically, this is a very strong twist with the weight of your body working with your shoulder and with your leg. Good. All right, so let's close it down and we'll come back and make a pillow with your hands and have a little rest here. You can turn your toes in and just this eases up your lower back, your hips. Good. All right. And let's press into the hands into the mat and come back. And we're going to go into pigeon. Now, if you can't do pigeon, you could hold yourself up quite high with blocks, etc. Or you can go onto your back and do figure four, which is a complement, which is basically the reverse of pigeon. So you do you and decide what works for you. I'm going to come down into pigeon and see if how my hip is doing. I'm just using my Sphinx arms here, and different things happen in pigeon. So this is a kind of a reclining pigeon here. But if you're up here, you're actually working your hip flexor here. So if you have problems with your hip flexor, you might want to just come down into your reclining pigeon. You can make a pillow with your hands. And this is working on your glute muscle and your hamstring, and also a little bit on your hip flexor, your other hip flexor. It's a very nice pose once you get into it. Very nice. Now let's just come back onto your hip and we'll come up into deer pose, which is also a yin pose. So we have our 90-90, kind of, our legs at 90-90. You might have a different mathematical formation, but I'll have the 90-90, more or less. And I'm trying to get myself into this position that allows me to be forward. And I'm actually going to come down over that front leg. So I'm going to sit up here. This is really opening my hip up here. And then I'm just going to come down here, which is another sort of uh, stretch of the hamstring and the glute here. Good. And now I'm just going to come up and I'm going to look over and press my fingers, sort of lift myself up here. And you can feel that in your hip here. So we're going to go back and forth. So I'm just going to come down gently. And then I'm going to lift up and rotate slightly to the back. Good. And last time I'm just going to come down here. And then when I come back, this is the tricky thing. I'm going to just circulate. I'm just going to move my legs until I'm in the opposite direction. And I'm going to go directly into pigeon on the other side. So here we go. So this is kind of a flowing yin class, I think. Pressing, I have my hands in Sphinx pose, my arms, my forearms, my toe is pointing back, and I am feeling it. The sensation is quite strong in the glute here. And I'm going to make a pillow with my hand. And I can come up if I want and do stay here for a moment just to open my hip flexor in an upright pigeon. And then I can come down here. All right, I'm coming back onto my hip, and I'm going to go back into that deer pose we had on the other side, which is 90-90, and it's a tricky pose. Feels quite uncomfortable, I have to say. But anyway, I'm sitting in it, and I'm going to turn towards this back leg. Feel that, what's happening in the hip there. And then I'm doing this very gently, and then I'm turning towards the front, and I'm going to come down over that front thigh, which is a different sort of twist here. And now I'm going to come up again. I'm going to twist slightly towards the back. All right. Now I'm just going to do windshield wiper now. So hands behind me, holding me up, and then my one knee going in while the other goes out, and then back again. And I'm just doing this to kind of massage my hips after all of that movement. Good one. I guess I don't need my telephone in the pocket. Good. All right. Now let's come down on our back, and we're going to just take a block. We'll need a block here. I like having a block under my hips when I'm doing inversions. We're just going to do an inversion since this is a very low-key yin class. I'm putting the block underneath my sacrum and making sure it's in the right spot. And we're going to be here for a few moments. So I'm going to bend one knee and draw it into my chest and put it down. And then I'm going to bend the other knee and draw it into my chest and put it down. And then I'm going to bend both knees, draw them into my chest. And then I'm lifting my legs up. Now, here you might want to, I need to adjust my block a little bit so I'm more stable. But this is a very nice movement to shape to assume. And you could have your legs up the wall here. You could also not use the block if you don't want to. And I am just going to allow myself to feel the leg bones going into the hip bones. So I tend to have I always tend to have my feet too close to my head when I'm doing this kind of pose. So I have to draw my legs back slightly to make sure that they are over top of the hips. And we're just going to just rest here for a moment, breathing, being present, feeling what it is to be present here. And I will read you a couple of poems while we're in this space, because I have these absolutely gorgeous poems by Rumi, and it's a lovely translation by Haleh Liza Gafori. The volume is called Gold. I think it's the New York Review of Books that published this collection. Anyway, it's really lovely. So here's one poem. Music floats on wind like driftwood on waves. In the ocean depths, pearls shine, lending their beauty, but never touching the surface. We hear their dazzling echo. Good. All right. So let's bend your knees, put your feet down, listening to that dazzling echo of the pearls shining just beneath the surface of the water. And lift your hips up, take that block out, and draw your knees into your chest. And you can just circle around with your hands on your knees, stirring the pot, feeling a sense of release here. Very good. All right, we'll work on our twists again. So I'm just going to stretch my arms out, put my foot in figure 4. We did this in pigeon earlier, and we'll draw that leg in again. And I'm clasping the shin. You could clasp the back of your thigh if you like. And here I'm using this elbow to press out on this thigh. So I'm drawing one leg in while I'm pressing the other one out. And I'm just going to rock a little bit because I like the sensation here of working on not just the largest muscle in the glute, but uh, uh, the muscle on the side as well. So if you rock a little bit, you can manage to uh, uh, affect both those muscles. Good. All right, let's put the foot down and put both feet down, lift the other leg up, and draw your shin in, and you can rock here if you like. It does feel very good, I have to say, releasing your hamstrings and your glutes. The glute is the biggest muscle in your body and needs to be worked properly so that your hip moves properly. All right, good. And let's put your feet down again. We're going to do another twist, shift towards one side, drop the knees to the other. And I'm going to lift the top leg up and draw my foot underneath the lower thigh to increase the twist. Now you don't have to do that, but I'm working to keep the other shoulder down and to have a very deep twist here. So you do you and work out what works for your body. And it might be different every day. It is different every day. Different strains, different, we've slept differently in our at night, and it might affect our body. And we're just breathing here. Now we're coming back, opening up that arm, putting the hip down, and I'm going to shift the hips to the other side, drop my knees in the opposite direction, and then I'm lifting that foot up and drawing it underneath and opening out the arms, looking at the opposite hand, and I'm feeling that quite deep twist here. All right, coming back, put your feet down and lift your feet up and give yourself a cuddle. Good. Now let's put a block between our knees and do a bridge pose, but with a block between our knees. It's a little bit different. We'll draw our feet towards our hips and pressing our, I'm lifting my toes up, spreading my toes, feeling the arches ignite. So I've got a lot of power in my feet, and I'm going to press into my feet, tilt my pelvis up and roll up just part way. And then I'm going to roll back down. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to lift my arms over my head. So as I tilt my pelvis up, I'm going to lift my spine up and lift my arms up over my head here. Oops, I've got a lot of blocks and things here. Okay, good. And now we're going to come down. We'll do it another few times. I'll move down the mat. So I'm pressing into my block between my thighs while I'm tilting my pelvis up, pressing my pelvis up, and lifting my arms over my head. And inhaling. And now I'm exhaling down. And I'm going to inhale up again, pressing up, pressing the block. And now I'm going to roll down again, exhaling. And once again, inhaling up, make sure you do a good pelvic tilt, tilting up, pressing the thighs up, the chest, and the arms are coming up as we inhale. And then we're exhaling down. And pressing into the feet again, tilt, rolling up, inhaling, and exhaling down. And last time, pressing into your feet, tilting your pelvis up, pressing the block, and lifting up. And coming back again, exhaling down. Good. All right. You can take the block out. You can clasp your knees, your shins, your thighs. If you like, you can draw your hands through and work on your happy baby here, which is Malasana, a beautiful inverted squat. We could be doing squats every day, 10 a day will keep the doctor away, I think. Good. All right. Very nice. And let's put our feet down. Very nice. Let's draw our legs into towards the inside of our armpit here, and our arms are down, and just let them settle there. And then let's draw them to the outside of our armpit. See what the difference is there. So let's try the inside of our armpit and then the outside of our armpit. And you can draw them in if you like. Feel that opening up. You can draw your tailbone down while you're doing this. It's an interesting counter movement here. So you can feel something happening there. And let's put our feet down. And for a moment, we'll do some work on our lower abdomen. So we'll lift our legs up and move them out. And then we'll draw them back in. It's quite a small move. Moving them out and then drawing them back in. Moving them out and drawing them back in. Good. All right, let's put our feet down and stretch our legs out, and we're going to do our final relaxation. Very nice. Just resting, letting everything go, settling into the mat, and feeling as though you don't really have to worry about a thing. You're just letting all of your worries sink below the ground. They're carried away by underground streams. And we're left here in the present moment, just breathing and settling. And while you're there, I'll read you a few more of these beautiful poems. Why paint night over nightless day? Every religion has love, but love has no religion. Love is an ocean, no borders, no shores. Drown there, and you won't lament it. The drowned have no regrets. So if you're drowning in love, you'll have no regrets. And here's another one that's a favorite to a few of my students. So once again, this is Rumi, who's a 12th century poet who had many thousands of followers in mosques. He was from Afghanistan, and I think he went to Turkey. Let's love each other. Let's cherish each other, my friend, before we lose each other. You'll long for me when I'm gone. You'll make a truce with me. So why put me on trial while I'm alive? Why adore the dead, but battle the living? You'll kiss the headstone of my grave. Look, I'm lying here, still as a corpse, dead as a stone. Kiss my face instead. I love that poem. Very wise poem. And blood nourishes a baby in the womb. Blood thunders in the baby's ears. Reborn so many times, I know that music. Come into my invisible dwelling. See through my eyes. Love's wine flows here. Drink with no mind till you laugh with no mouth. I like these poems. They're quite mysterious and wonderful. What else will a smiling bud do but bloom in laughter? What else will a flagpole do but grip its wind-whipped flag? If a ripe pomegranate on a branch doesn't open its ruby mouth to the birds, what else will it do? Moonlight seduces you, sunlight feeds you. What more would you want them to do? When a shadow sees the sun's face, it bows. When lovers catch a whiff of your fragrant shirt, they tear off their own. And the dead, what else can they do but lie stone still? Love, you strung my heart with gold. What else can I do but sing? So with that, I will cease and desist my Rumi reading and invite you to stretch your arms and your legs. Feel your breath as it enlivens your whole body from tip of your toe to the tops of your fingers, the crown of your head. And you can roll onto your side if you like and take a few breaths there, resting. And in your own time, find your way to a seated position. And I'm just going to congratulate you for making it onto your mat today. And also to thank you for joining me. The teacher and the student in me sees and honors the teacher and the student in you. And the light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. I'm going to dedicate this practice to all those who are celebrating. I think yesterday was the beginning of Ramadan, the sacred Muslim practice of fasting for a month or so. And it's also the beginning of Mardi Gras, that beautiful celebration in New Orleans and elsewhere, and in South America. And it's also very near the beginning of the uh, Chinese New Year. This is the year of the fire horse. Once in 60 years, the fire horse celebration happens. And so I'm wishing everyone, all those fire horses who are filled with ambition and energy and success, and it's a very striving kind of Chinese Chinese celebration. It's also apparently a special eclipse, and so we should all feel very warm and cozy today. Many celebrations in the world, many ways to think through what it is to be human and alive at this moment. Deep bows to all of those who are celebrating. Thank you, thank you.